Art Fox subscribed to your channel for 18 months.
Alright. We are live. Mic is working. Demon Slayer, thank you for giving us a clang. And, yeah, wife, there's the time sync that is. So, you just have to be prepared. Alright. So, get that out of the way. Well, off stream, I got the contrast paint Sagor Brown on there, and then lots of the first coat of dry brush done on the chassis, and then also on the armor panels. So, what? I heard you say something. I thought she said something. Oh, okay, she dropped something. All right. That works. Okay. Yeah, so we got the dry brushing first coat done. So now I know the color we're going to do for the armor panels, but I don't know what I want to do for the trim yet. The color for the armor panels is going to be Hexwraith Flame. It's going to be this really very bright greenish over the metal. It should stand out well against the, and then I'll be able to dull it down a little bit and damage it up, but that's the color. So this is very intense green flame color for the armor panels. Now, as far as the trim on them, that I'm not sure. If I want to do silver, I'm thinking I should, because I don't have anything with silver trim. These guys have gold and bronze. So I'm looking at the green and silver trim. will be, oh, excuse me. So, with that though, start on this madness. Time to swatch it out. This is true. Steel Legend sculpts should be in print in a few years, so Steel Legend on the card regiment synopsis the art. Yeah, that's sometimes they do things a little odd. Maybe something in the special effects paints. I've got a green ink. I already did a purple. Ooh, maybe sepia. That's just black. That's kind of a... Chameleon orange might get lost. Turquoise, I got something like that. Fluorescent green, and there's a cold green. So I got 3 inks here I could use as well. Just realized I need to do a bit of dry brushing on the face. So I've got fluorescent cold green. Maybe just green. So I've got, we could run it's kind of a darker version. That might be good too. We're playing with colors right now. I've never used a sepia. Sepia would give it a really nice dark. That might be too similar to what I've got. Okay, so I've got... Here's the colors. I might pull on it close. So that's a sepia. This is the green ink. This is the Hex-Ray Flame. And that's the fluorescent cold green, which I'm honestly thinking this. Thinking this green ink from Vallejo. Sepia is nice, but that's very close to Cygor Brown. That's what I'm using for the chassis color. So I'm thinking this, honestly. What's your opinions, wifey? This green would be for the armor, like all these panels here. It would be over these panels here. And then if I were to do So, all right. Thinking that green with the Grey Knights. Nope. AI viewers. At least they're being honest in their advertisement now. You got that one, hun? I think she's reporting them. Thank you. I'm thinking this green with that silver. The darker green with this silver. This silver on the trim. Like all these trim pieces, and then the dark green in this armor. Alright. That's what we'll do. Alright, so that'll sit here for the time being, because I'm going to use that. But right now, we start on chassis details. So how you doing tonight, Demon Slayer? Tired? Yeah, it's been that way. Did you get any of the rain today? 'Cause we got hit pretty hard out here. We didn't get tornado stuff, but we had fuck tons of rain. Well, stay safe, please. Meteor storms are south of us. That makes sense. All right. Okay. I don't think it's all bad there, Jersey, but sure. How's it going, sir? Best place for angry clouds. Our town sits in the bit of a depression, so scared jump overs. Nice. Angry clouds. Moving is something I'm glad I have no intent on doing in the foreseeable future. I saw that. I put that in the Discord for Scarecrows. It's kind of about time. He's one of the oldest characters in the game. It's been around for since like second edition, I think, if not before that. So I've always had fun bits of fiction about him, but it's like, really? Oh, goodness. People want to hear about that dude. By and then some. That Bjorn the Fell-Handed. He's the only Marine that didn't go through time travel shenanigans. It is Bjorn. Through the warp and stuff that was around when the Primarchs were around. Like he fought with Leman Russ, the Primarch of the Wolves. So he's been he's led the Space Wolves, and then he got dreadnoughted, and they basically wake him up for, specific shit now and then. And he's the one that, like, he'll tell off. There's stories of him telling off, like, High Lords and shit, but, like, talking about there was that one, but he was, like, kind of imprisoned. But he also died. Bjorn's still up and kicking. So Bjorn's got him on a technicality. There's stories of, like, Bjorn telling High Lords off when they talk about, like, the God Emperor, and he's like, the Emperor was no god. I don't know. Because I've always talked about how he's, like, one of the more lucid dreadnoughts. Like, he does, sleep for a while, but he also gets woken up a reasonable amount because they value his wisdom. The fact that he knows more than practically anyone else. Pretty much. And there's a lot of short stories about him. There's the great one of some initiate having to wake up a dreadnought, and Bjorn's there. It wasn't even Bjorn; they were waking up. That would be the more funny comic. I'm gonna nap. I don't want to nap. Gotta mix up the paints. Oh wait, we can use Boob Cam. So let me get this straight. You want to use my boob? But don't you have access to boob? You're going to fondle my boob? Won't that get us in trouble on the stream? Yeah. Get some food. Why does the hell look like the night exploded? Because there's pieces all over the floor. Howdy, Papa Nurgle. It hasn't exploded. I'm just in the process. A night exploding. That would be a cool diorama. I agree with the statement. Oh, exploded diagram parts. That also works. I think I was taking it literal. I'm like, exploded? Explosions? Explosions. Yeah, I don't need any more ideas. I had to go buy a new case today. I didn't have to, but for ease of transporting this night specifically. Well, I already have a diorama that I've kind of planned out. That'll be the big diorama I want to do. Where it's going to be from the Lion Son of the Forest book. So that one's going to be a bit of a challenge to get all the parts and get everything I need for it. Because it has like tons of different armor patterns and hodgepodge. Ice cream for dinner was not the smartest choice. Ah, what the hell? How did I get this all over my hands? Oh, I must have touched it. No ice cream for... She had a brownie with it. She did have a brownie. It was a hot fudge brownie sundae. I just had a milkshake. Bananas are good. Banana. So right now I'm running a Basilicum Gray contrast over the weapons. Then once this is dry, I'll hit this with a dry brush because I did want to do it in the Cygor Brown. That's doing everything else on the chassis in. But this guy is heavy and it's starting to weigh on my hands. Oof. This contrast is getting everywhere. What the hell? Move pieces up. Oh, goodness. Oh, pardon.
So gentle. You like it, Lily?
Most extreme chain axe that ever chain axed. This will be my first Battle Sister I've ever painted. It'll be the one that's about to get turned into creative colors. Ooh. Tile with lots of height variation. So you can see lots of plunging fire. I'll take a look at that. Cool. All right. I will keep an eye out for it. Thank you for the heads up, sir. I have to be careful with what I watch of theirs because they do such a good job with their productions that's like, ooh, I want to play that. Ooh, I want to play that. Ooh, I want to play that. Like the Legions Imperialis videos I've seen, it's like, oh, it looks cool. Not going to buy buying Legions Imperialis, but it looks cool. So I just find that I have to be careful with their stuff. Because, oh God. So I'm easily influenced when it comes to these things. Oh, NIDS. That took me way too long to realize what you said there. I thought it said nudes. I'm like, well, okay. That seemed a bit weird, but sure. You read nudes? Okay, so I'm not alone in the reading nudes part. If a vicious Beelzebub. Nah, no need to apologize. It makes it more entertaining. Yeah, it's always... It's been a very long time since ours was that little. Incredibly long time. 14 years. Yes, Lula? Yeah, let's put that over there before the wife asks. What are you doing, dog? Hey, hun, can you come down here? Her cheese is about to fall into the rip of the, on the cushion, and I don't want that. Actually, it's now in the cushion. I don't want her digging for it.
Hey. Lula? Yeah, I know. Aw. Did you fix that? Come on.
We will allow for discretion on that. There's I think there's a smaller cheese in the hole in the cushion.
Oh. Yes, there is.
Okay,
Wow.
I did see that. Cover with lots of blankets. Alright, so we got the full force introduce a sippy cup to your nose. That sounds about right. Thank you, wifey.
I'm tucking it in. Hopefully that'll delay stuff.
Yeah, I need to address that.
Delay the inevitable.
Now we'll work on the lance a little. Do a nice contrast on the lance. And then I'm going to hit this one with a shade as well, like a blue shade to give it the electro. So this is supposed to be a shock lance. So much surface area in this thing to paint. For the record, anyone watching, I'm going to complain my ass off painting this thing. That's lovely. Alright, we'll go back to... Go back to Lula Cam. There she goes. Looking betrayed. We messed with her pillow. Oh yeah, you're gonna get comfy. That's what you're supposed to do. Yes, lots and lots of Baneblades. The 5 Baneblade list. The least effective. Probably one of the least effective armies.
Warriors of chaos.
I'll try. Oh, I gotta bump that up. Wrong way. There you go. I don't know how much the enhance is going to work because this thing's so big it doesn't fit on the screen mostly.
T-Zone 101 rated your channel with 8 viewers.
Oh, good gravy. Hello there, CDs, and hello, Raiders. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate that. Amazing, sir. I am starting the painting process of this madness, as you can all see. For those who are new and haven't been following along with this crazy crap, this is my Chaos Knight Lancer. This one is lovingly called Let Us Test Your Faith, and is a very custom Chaos Knight Lancer. Where, let me zoom out a little bit so you can see the craziness that this thing is. There's the big boy. This big, beautiful boy. Right now I'm doing contrasting. The way I'm doing these guys is I'm hitting them with various contrasts as a base over the primer, and then I'll be hitting it with a dry brush coat on top of that. Also, if anybody's interested in a fun slice of life comic about an orc and his pet squig, check out Orc and Squig. It's a comic written and drawn by the wifey. Thank you, CDs. Slowly working it. There's so much surface area. That's probably the biggest thing, is it's just takes a while. There's just so much friggin' paint. So, alright, that's 2 contrasts. We just did the contrasts for the weapons. I have an itchy nose. So I have to hold him because he doesn't stand on his own. So here's the base. And it's hard to see because of the white, but there is a Sister of Battle right there. So, positioned on the base is the reason he is just absolutely going to be smacking down the Sister of Battle. I don't trust him to stay standing because he's a little wobbly. Look away, good sir. All right, you're going to sit there for a moment. Now it's storming. Uh-oh. Well, if you got to run, Demon Slayer, please stay safe, first and foremost. I don't know getting stuck in storms, so. While that paint dries up, we're going to grab a smaller brush. And start doing the contrast on these armor panels. So, we're going to run with the Vallejo green ink. Mix it up. Let's see how this works. Going over. First time using this ink for something like this. We'll see how this works. We'll grab a small piece first. And then that does a nice job of tinting that metal. It's close to the the green from the Rampager, but different. It is brighter. So. Okay. See if they have one that's like a tough one. I don't know if they do. If they have one like made of canvas or something. But I think that green looks pretty good. It's different enough from the Rampager. And the it's close to the same color as the Rampager. It's kind of close to that guy, honestly. It is very close to the green in there. Yeah. But if he has a silver trim, that'll differentiate it, so we'll commit. I thought it would turn out darker, but it is not. A jaunty jog. That's fair. This is a lighter green, so this will be nice. Especially with the silver trim, I think it'll turn out nice looking. I need more than what I put on there. Get this all. Thank you, wifey. What do you think of this green, hun? It's close to the night on the turntable, but it is different. It's lighter green than I thought it was going to be. But that works because I'm using very dark reds. It also gets all over my hands pretty fierce. Ah, sorry. You like it? Nice. Back that up a little bit. Honestly, other than that kind of keeps almost a consistent color theme with a lot of the nights, other than the Psychic Knight, who's purple. But if I do this green and silver, I think it'll be good. It's a good color. Oh God. Yes. Whew. So we'll see. Shit, no, I didn't. You told us about it, and because I have the brain power of a, somewhat sentient carrot, I forgot. If you have a free hand and are not fighting off a child that wants to smack you and introduce you to his cup repeatedly, link it up here. And then I'll bring it up and bookmark it so I don't forget it for like the 15th time. Sentient carrot. All right. If you produce EDM music, feel free to use it. Thank you, sir. Guessing you're done having clicking link. Open a new tab. Bookmark. Done. Alrighty. Bookmarked it. Thank you, sir. It prevents me from losing track of it. Running in circles, burning off steam. Fantastic. Duh, that makes sense. Yep. Well, is it fun? The funniest thing? Because if you're laughing when he does it, then it absolutely is the funniest thing. I do like how this ink flows. Stuff works really well. Give the Vallejo folks some credit. I am it. See, And yes, it is the funniest thing. Whoa. On the most recent episode of Miniature Masters, which I was watching a little bit before the stream, they have Vallejo is releasing new true metallic metal paints, and it's like all kinds of beautiful tones and things with the metallic metals. And like, there's a red metal and a gold, like, and a blue metal and all this stuff. I'm like, I kind of want to get that. I might. I want to wait till I want to see it in use a bit more. I do very much like the Squidmar. There is Vallejo has some. I've seen not Army Painter, but AK Interactive. The people that make the desert terrain stuffs I use and the resins, they have a whole series of like enamel weathering paints. So it has that like really runny enamel thing going for it that looks awesome. If I hadn't already done all of this, it'd be like, that would be great for these guys. But I've already got them reasonably established. So, oh God. All right, so we did the layer green on the armor panels. The only ones I didn't do, well, I just really missed a chunk, is the armor panel on the head of the knight. Because I need to do that one carefully once I've got the rest of it done. I do need to do some contrasting here that I missed real quick. This is still a little wet. This is still wet over here. And then oil wash Grimdark style and take my time. Absolutely. Oh, I missed that. Duh. Big armor panel. This guy is such a pain in the butt to lay him down. Alright. It's honestly kind of these nights are a bit that way where for a bit store wind up being kit bashed. Kit bashing? Who dares kit bash an army? Their models are perfect as intended. What are you talking about? I can't imagine the demented mindset it would take to kit bash an entire army. I just can't. Doesn't process right for me. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. True to disagree there. Heresy. Heresy, I say. I will say that I do like how the Vallejo inks flow. It's the first time really using this ink, and man, this stuff just glides right on. Like, I will give it some credit. They also does great at getting on your hands. Sponsor me. Well, no, they're not going to sponsor me. They sponsor big time peoples. Ain't going to sponsor some demented heretic like this. But if you're watching Vallejo, sponsor me. There we go. I think that looks really good. I'm pleased with that. Not pleased with the amount of it that's on my hands, but hey, whatever. Some important batteries. Those go up there. That goes over there. That is what is this pin? That's my Adepticon pin. Put that on the bag. Sarcasm? What is this sarcasm you speak of, woman? Everything I say is perfectly honest and literal. Brain braining. Brain. Some Lutheran blue. Hey, hun, can you grab me a Scarlet Fire? I'm feeling like a burr. Please. Thank you. Ah, the mute button. How many seats have been stolen from you, Demon Slayer? Water down that one. Huh?
One beer.
Alright, cool. Hello there, Doggo Lord. How are you? I am starting the painting process of this crazy Night Lancer. It was the last of the cast nights that I had to work on. So I'm doing alright. He's sitting the knight's kind of reclining while the contrast dries on the weapons. I just did all the green ink on the armor panels, and now I'm just putting on a bit of the blue, which is the kind of the base coat for under the resin. And then I will probably might work a little bit on the sister. I don't know. I got to figure out how I'm going to want to paint this battle sister. So, wait for my wife to be back at her computer. That's what she is. And ASMR something for her. Yeah, so for the... Oh, interesting. Hold on a sec. All right. This is what she wanted to hear. Time for a crack. A little bit splatter. Cheers to anyone. Thank you all for watching. Alright, so the way I do the bases for these guys, so I do at the base of this Lothern Blue, and that is because the stuff up here, the Vallejo Diorama FX, is, despite the fact that this stuff is voodoo, because it's completely opaque there, when it dries, it's translucent. So you have to have something underneath it. It does have a color to it, but you can really see what's underneath. So I put down, first I put on the Lothern Blue on the base and all the spots that's going to be ice. Then I'll put a layer of that Vallejo stuff on top once this is dried up. And that gives it kind of a little texture and a little variation in the colors and the depth and things. Then I'll be doing the 2-part resin for the ice to build it up to the level of this. There's multiple levels here. This first level of the cork, which is going to be rock, that's where the ice will be up to that level. Like the guy in the turnstile there, you can see it where as he comes around to the front, right in the front there's a puddle of ice. There's like a bit of the ice right there, so it's right up to that lower level of rock. So I've got to let that dry up, and then I'll have to work on this lady, or soon to be Salsa. That's where the bases on these guys are the most in-depth basing I've ever done for models. It's consistent across the entire army. They all have this, it's like they're running across ice, like not so much a glacier, but like the frozen tundra kind of a deal. And I'll use the snow, like on that guy right there, the snow is used to hide, one, because of decoration, and two, to hide the pins. There was one, I can't remember who it was. I think it was the Rampager, maybe it was that guy. Sorry to hear that, huh? But I'll use the snow to hide the brass post underneath that secures them to the base. Because unfortunately they're all a bit wonky. This one's going to be triply so. He needs to be secured. They cannot be trusted. So let's take a look at your contrasts. Are still a bit wet in a few spots. Let's grab a brush and spread that out to make sure it's even. A little bit of a contrast pulling just because he has to lay down in a weird way. Have to get in there occasionally. Now the tentacles I'm leaving not contrasted in this Basilicum Gray because I'm going to be doing them in a blue. Probably the Tyrum Blue contrast, or that's a shade. The Acerman Blue, which is the contrast version. Because they're the shock lance, and I want to be electric. So, you know, a blue contrast with a little bit of a white dry brush. Actually, I might do the dry brush first and then the blue contrast. Or a silver dry brush, really bright silver, like granite steel on the tentacles. And then use the blue contrast would be good. So what I am going to do, though, is, since I unfortunately got some of the Sagor Brown on the, where's my lead belcher? On the armor for the face, I'm going to rebase that with the Leadbelcher paint. And then that'll be ready for, once that's dry, ready for the green ink to match the armor panels. Helps if you use the brush side though. So we're just, this is a Leadbelcher primer. It's easy to kind of redo any bits that may have gotten. It's just that bit right there actually, so that's good. Okay. Excuse me. Now I'm going to be doing all the trim in Grey Knight's Steel, which is a kind of a silver with a bit of a bluish tint to it. So to offset against the green ink that I have here. So we'll go on a bit. We'll see how this looks now. Probably should have used a handle, but hey, I'll be alright. So it'll be this, and then once I weather the green a bit, give it a bit of that dirty look, should be good, I think. I'm thinking I'll have this guy done by like next week-ish. I'll have to see what the stream's gonna be. Actually, next is finish up the Tyranids. I don't have much to do to finish them off. So that would be next. There we go. Sorry. Now you ever get my attention. It's got too much to work on a small piece, and it's or no, it should be the Castors. I'll bounce back to Sigmar, get the Castors finished up. So I do have some big ones, like Uruk-Tar over there. It's a cool model. Get them all done up. And then after that, it'll be bugs. So get them finished. Or I could take a short break from painting and build Armageddon. Which might not be a bad idea. do some assembly on the Armageddon stuffs, because I do have a box sitting behind me. Alrighty, so... Alright, what do you think of that, wifey? Yours is the opinion that matters. I think the green and silver looks good. I do have a whole asset to create. It's sitting right behind me. Right there. You liking the green and silver? It looks good. And it's going to be nice, kind of subtle colors to offset the absolute absurdity of this model. Because this model is absolutely absurd. So... So we'll work on some trim. Pardon. Hold the brush away while I cough, because that's just going to create weird lines if I don't. This all done. Ooh, the ink wasn't dry under there. Let that go dry for a minute. I didn't realize it was still a little wet in there. Bounce over to another piece real quick, because let that ink dry. Work on there. Alright, that's the old-fashioned way. Paint a little bit of this, let it dry, move on to another one. So I've been enjoying the Miniature Masters show. I do think they need to do a, like, amateur one. He's gonna have a chance of being on it. You know, it's not where they're taking The Miniature Masters, they're taking very, very, very skilled people already. But yeah, if it was like, miniature amateurs, or I don't know what it would be called. The thing is, I don't think they would have, like, even those shows, it's not like, it's like Master Chef, you get the best of the best, or worst chefs in America kind of a thing. It's like, well, I don't think I'm the worst. So, we have, like, mid-range painters. I don't know. They always seem to have extremes. I gotta look at what it is to submit to White Dwarf. That could work too. There is that YouTuber Paul. I think it's Paul is bad at stuff. He already has the ripping on people's piles of shame. And my pile of shame is nothing compared to some of the people on there. There's one dude that has like practically an entire store. It's like, I mean, we're talking, probably $100,000 of miniatures just sitting in boxes. Yeah, you go on the show and then you have to complete an army on the show. Call it Battle Ready. That'd be the show's name. And find some people that are in the hobby but don't have like completed armies, and they pick an army. You have the show's called Battle Ready. People that have like you're in the hobby but don't have like completed armies or something, they go on there, and it's from start to finish, and whoever's like the best at the end gets to keep the completed army. It could be like a giant, multi-thousand point army. And you have the competition, and they're doing all the painting and the assembling and everything, and so that would be the show, Battle Ready. All right, we got an idea here. It's still a little wet, as evident by it getting all over my hand. Cooking over here. Gonna do that real quick. Yeah, I didn't connect again. What's this wrong? Why is it not doing this thing? Oh, it's like the... Garden lights are not turning on. It says they're on, though. Oof. You get a chance, son. If you're down, next time you're down here, you can take a look outside and see if the garden lights are on. You can't see from this stuff. It says they're on, but it doesn't look like they're on. Alright, back on to trimming. Having a hard time connecting to the garden lights. Something's going on. The garden path lights. I can't seem to connect to them again. I'm starting to wonder if that case thing I put to protect it is causing it connection issues. Yeah, I can't connect on. They were working fine yesterday. Oh, figure it out. Well, I'll figure it out later. What was it? Might have to, tomorrow I might have to dig up the control box a little bit. I mean, it is completely weatherproof. I just was being extra. But I'm wondering if my extra is causing it to not connect. So, how many arrows do you think you put in this mount? That's a good question. Ooh, actually, I know how to. I think the case I put on the control box is blocking its signal too much. If we were to check on my Blue Sky, it's a little wet. When I started the hobby streak on this guy, because there's at least like probably an average of 2 hours, I would say, a day for. It's got to be. At least 10 days. I mean, I would say I'm easily over 20 hours on this guy. On this one. Yeah, 20. I could see that because, I mean, the kit bashing and the customizing took a while. I mean, I'm moving pretty quick through this army, but kit bashing this one did take a bit of extra time, so. So it really did. Yeah, I can't connect to them. This is the one that also took the longest for me to source the parts. Because I had to I had to get a hold of some extra pieces because I had used, when I had planned it out, I used the pieces on other models. So. And I would guess this guy's will probably, when said and done, will be 30 to 40 hours.
In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Even in death, I still serve. Knowledge is power, guard it well.
Well said.
For the Emperor!
What can you say? There she is. And that being said, Doggerlord, in an army full of centerpieces, this is the centerpiece of the centerpieces. When I go to the Warhammer store on Sundays, folks love the Night Army, but this one's gonna take the cake. Fair enough. It did sound good, especially in the squiggy. That's fair. She wants me out of the house. I gotta make sure I get the Costco and the groceries done. Or Costco done first. I do have some stuff I gotta get done in the mornings and Sundays, so. But I will try and get there, and I think it's 11:30 is when he opens, so. I'll work on getting there at that time. Try now. I don't know how many hours I've got. I have to look in the... Like, if my hobby streak days are, say, an average of 2 hours, that means I'm at easily over 200 hours of hobbying since I started doing the hobby streaks. So, now that being said, the hobby streaks did start before I started doing the Chaos Nights. They had Chaos Dwarves in there as well. But it's not every day is a full, like, evening of hobbying, but every stream day is at least 3 hours, if not more. And a lot of other days, I also, pretty much sit down here and work on models. Well, that's the even on the days I play Space Marine, I still do some hobbying. I paint something. I do something. That's where I think that's been the key for me to be getting this done. Because when I was talking to Eric at GW last week, he said that I've been flying. He feels like you've been flying through that army. And I think it's because I'm dedicating some time every day. Some days, 3 hours, some days 30 minutes, but something every day there's still progress getting done. So, as much as I want you to enjoy Baldur's Gate, that's why I almost think it might not be a great idea for you to download it. Because it will suck the time right out of you. Excuse me. That's still a little... Princess Bride quote. We're going for deep cut, huh? Yeah, it's going to be good looking on these guys. This is a timeless movie. It's truly a timeless movie. Exactly. has a perfect cast. It's possible. Well, it is our responsibility to show them what the absolute perfect that is that perfection that is that movie. Get this on. Oh, goodness. Oof. Oh. It's almost trim. Quick look at you. Are you dry? You are mostly dry. You're still a little wet there. That's still alright. That's drying up there. That's good. Nope, still see wet. Okay. No, that is nowhere near as much trim as Heldrake. This is very true. And I have no, have no plans on ever picking up a Heldrake. Lula, you're fine. So yeah, let's see the vicious defense dog in action. She's so ready to defend, she won't even get up. See? It's your parents, your dad, going out to put the car away. Let's sit there and try it a little bit. Oh, Lula, you're fine. Is this Grandpa? Fearsome defender. Fearsome defender, the dog. Let's call Lula the fearsome defender because working on the train.
Death to the foul warriors of chaos.
I'm hoping it'll focus because this is a small piece. I do have, let's see, it's not focusing. Come on, focus. I do have ink everywhere in my hands. And if I just scrub my hands tonight. It's just doing base coats and shading. We need to do dry brush and sponge shades. Tie-dye-ish. Fair enough. The sponge stuff, I actually am not. I've not done sponge shading. So, oh, my shades look very good. Thank you. So specifically, I'm using kind of, there's a technique called slap chop. That is mainly what I've been doing for the knights and such. Where I get them in a base coat first, like for these panels here. They were primered black. And that's the base I went for. I'm mostly using contrasts, is most of what I'm doing. Or, like in this instance, I'm using the Vallejo ink, which is pretty much a contrast. Which is just watered down. All a contrast is watered down paint. Or not watered, thinned out paint. So this is based primered black, and then I did a very heavy dry brush in a metallic, specifically Ruined Fang silver. And then I'm throwing the ink over that. And that's what I did for all these guys. Well, you can't see where I'm pointing to, but like the guy on the turnstile there, same thing. All the armor panels are dry brushed black. Not dry brushed black, primered black. Then dry brushed on with a silver, and then I'm using a contrast. That one was Pterodon turquoise. This was Sermon blue, Eldaria emerald. They're great at allowing the stuff from underneath. And it's like, here's an example of one that's in progress that I was working in a little bit with somebody. For like the fur cloak, I did this first, and then even here, this was done in a dark red, dry brushed on a lighter shade, like I dry brushed on a white, and then came down with a red contrast over that. This was black, dry brushed on white, and then a snake bite leather contrast on top. I love using the thinned out paints. I'm saying watered down, but it's not water. You can use a technical like this Lamium medium. That's a pigmentless paint. No, it's realistically, there is a difference between watering it down and thinning it out. I'm saying watering it down, and that's incorrect. That's a fault in my head. Thinned out paint is something like any of the base GW paints, and then you use something like this Lamium medium, which is just a pigmentless paint that allows it to thin it out and get it into spaces more, and makes it a little more translucent, but doesn't. So if you do put too much water in it, it doesn't dry right, realistically, in my experience. But you can use this Vallejo speed paints or the inks. Contrasts are the same thing. They're just really, for some questionable ASMR, they're just really watered down. You know, I've got tons of contrasts over here for lots of different stuff. Like a snake bite leather is great for if you want to do like a leather pouch. You take it, dry brush on a little bit of white, throw that on there, and then it turns it kind of brown. There you go. She knows the stuff way better than I. But everything I'm doing, so like this guy here, the chassis undercoat, this was primered in, that's a good clean shot. This was primered in Leadbelcher, the metallic primer. Then I used a absolute boatload of this Cygor brown contrast, which is the equivalent of Vallejo's sepia ink. Same basic color. Got me this kind of rusted brown look in here. So then I do a first coat of a dry brush, which is where I'm at now, and then I'll be doing more details on top of that. A lot of it with contrasts. So there's the technical of it, because the wife is far more educated in that than I am. And it's using the medium. I've done both. I used to just water it down, but using the medium absolutely has a better effect by far. But you can use, and like, like yeah, like I've got some Vallejo, mainly because it came in this cool Squidmar special effects paint set, which I want to support it. It is still manageable, absolutely. I don't know if it is any better or worse. You get a slightly different result. I have watered down paint a bunch, and it's worked. I find that using the medium to thin it, or just getting the contrast or a shade of it, works better. Like I wouldn't say like, on the GW side, that's what, if you're newer, the difference between, let me see if I got some colors here real quick. I don't think I've got the layer of this, but the difference between on the GW stuffs, a base coat is super thick and gets your best coverage. The next one is a layer, which is more thinned out. It might require more than one coat, but it can be easier to work with. A great example, here's a contrast, which this contrast is almost the same as that color. Wait, no, it's not. It's Creed Camo, I think is the same. The contrast is just further thinned out of the compared to layer, and then the final one for in the Citadel stuff is the shades. These are practically water, but they're very, very thin. But they do get a little bit more, they have a different effect. I love the contrasts. I think they provide a good coverage, you get good paints. That's Fair Dog Lord. Yeah, it's I think part of it which makes, I understand it, but it is also infuriating. Moi, English. To me, with Citadel and the Games Workshop stuff, is that the contrasts and the layer stuff don't have the same name. Dark Angel's green contrast is a thinned out Caliban green. But they don't have the same name. They call it something different. I understand the reasoning behind it, but it is like, if this could just be hey, here's the Caliban green base. Then you have the Caliban green contrast, which I understand why they did the different names. It would probably be more confusing to people who are new into it. But to people that are been doing it for a while, it's like, yeah, it'd be handy if I could, oh, that's the one I need. It's the thinned out version of this. And realistically, from what I mean, if you watch stuff like Squidmar or Miniature Masters, which is a lot of fun, I've been enjoying it. They're using Vallejo because Vallejo is one of their sponsors, and they're working with Vallejo. Well, Hendrix. People do. But realistically, you'll find online people will be like, and how's it going, Hendrix? People will swear by that GW paint is crap and blah 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 blah, and it's not. I've heard it from many professionals that their paint is fine. The only thing that's kind of garbage with the Games Workshop paint is the pots. The actual bottles are just annoying as hell. But the paint itself is decent quality paint. There's nothing wrong with using GW stuff. Vallejo makes some great stuff too. So does Army Painter or AK Interactive. They all make pretty good paint. And there's this new one I've been seeing called Pro Acryl, which I can't remember if it's CDs or Sandris. Maybe it was Hendrix. Was it you, Hendrix, that had the Pro Acryl? Somebody in here got like ordered a whole set of the Pro Acryl paint. Which is a newer brand out there that looks good. I've seen it. I haven't used it. The reason I use the Citadel stuff on that shelf behind me is I go to a Games Workshop store every week. I'm there. It's the closest store to me. I'm lazy. I got nothing against any of the other brands. Maybe it was Demon Slayer. Somebody was getting a whole thing of the Pro Acryl paint to play with. But yeah, don't feel as if you've got to pick up an Army Painter set or this set. Realistically, the best paint is the one that gets you painting. That's going to be the best paint for it. The best paint out there is the one that you use. Fair enough. I have this, shitty memory for names. Like I in all seriousness, and I'm kicking myself. I was talking to the program director at my job about some issues we had with a vendor, and they wanted our DMB number, which means Dun & Bradstreet. It's like your Better Business Bureau, but less scammy. And I didn't even realize I said it until he kind of started laughing. I said it was Dooney and Burke, and I'm like, that's not right. We work with an attorney. That's part of our program. That's two names, and for the life of me, I kept calling it this attorney I see on all the billboards, and I wouldn't even realize I was saying it wrong until my boss would just start laughing every time I said it. I'm like, son of a bitch, I did it wrong again. I never did it wrong to the client, which is good. But I looked at my boss dead in the eyes and said Dooney and Burke, and I'm like, nope. Nope. DMB is not Dooney and Burke. DMB is Dun & Bradstreet. That's what happens when you work with like 500 acronyms. But anyway, that's... As far as it goes, Doggo Lord, realistically, use whichever paint gets you painting. And Emperor's Children, you got some fun colors and fun things you can do. And, there's a lot you can kind of... Emperor's Children is Slaneshi. You can run with a metallic, like a slap chop, and do a really easy, nice look on those. Mute for the win. But like so these panels here, I'm using a base color, which is Grey Knight Steel, which is this true metallic metal, because I've seen a lot of non-metallic metals, and it's beautiful and brilliant, and I just don't have the brain power to do it, honestly. Tried it a little bit, but just not my jam. Which is fine. True metallic metals can be pretty good looking too. But I'm using this base on here, and then I'll be using a shade on these to get into the corners and stuff, because I'm using the base to get the color, the coverage on here. But a lot of shading, a lot of easy shading can be done with dry brushing and actual just shade paints. That's what I do most of my shading with. Excuse me. So before I put paint on that brush, let's do medicine. There we go. Well, another thing that can Doggalore that can be handy and helpful is getting your base colors on before you do any kind of like the shadings and stuff. Like I'll be doing lots of shades and stuff on these demons and things, but I do need to get their base. I'm going to base them up red first. Same with all the spikes and stuff. I'll be doing a base of a gray so that the contrast can really pick up the color, because trying to do it over the black and stuff just makes it fight harder. How you doing, Hendrix? Primal black and sponge draft shades of somber grays, white, glacier blue, and pick a spot small. I want the pink. I'm digging it. I like how that sounds. I think you get it sounding good. Possibly something, if it's looking kind of bland, maybe a bright not a contrast, but not a contrast paint, but a contrasting color. I get it. No, like that's where I played around with colors and swatches at the beginning to figure out what works well for like these guys here. Like, you know, I'm using turquoise as a contrast, but is it a good bright contrast? Let me get that off there. Like a really bright color. So I've got the gold and the red off of the green. So like a bright contrasting color might make it pop a bit more. Or like and this guy here, I think the decals really help with the contrasting, the pop. Like these bright white decals, like the chaos signs and things, they really help it stand out more. So most of my stuff, I'm doing kind of a dirty look for these guys. Crap, the Nurglings ripped off his head. Ah, Nurglings, why'd you rip off his head? Look, I know I went with corn instead of Nurgle. But like, here's one of my Chaos Dwarves. These guys are done in a very different style, where I did a little bit of edge highlighting. That might do it too. It's a bit of a challenge, but maybe like a little bit of edge highlighting. So for my Chaos Dwarves, I have these bright bluish white flame magic. That is the kind of the colors I went with for them. That contrasts out the very grimy metallic of the rest of the Chaos Dwarves. So like they're all using, I'm using warp lock bronze and things in the back. But maybe something like that, like a bright. Yes, you can ask Minerva there, or by Minerva Fox. You know, she knows Carla Theory very well, and but maybe that might be it, Doggalord, like a something that stands out a bit more, something that's very opposite of what you got going on, just a little bit. It's pretty vibrant against the black, hot pink. I'm not entirely sure then. Like that. I'm trying to think of what else I got that could provide as potential examples. Well, here's the Death Leaper. This is one of my Tyranids. Maybe it's 2? I don't know. These guys I did in a very pink and purple with a bit of dry brush and such. Nothing too crazy, I feel. But the contrast I'm running with, the contrast is in I'm using like this bone-ish kind of yellow grime. I think it's actually Plaguebearer flesh on Wraithbone for the spines and all their stuffs. Maybe something like that. You magnetized? You are magnetized. Well, that's the thing. For that, in those instances, the Vulpus Pink, I did Vulpus Pink, and then I pulled it off. Like, I did them all in a Vulpus Pink contrast, and then I used Q-tips to kind of wipe it off to dull it down. And really just let it sit in the crevices. That's where I had all the Q-tips look like I was bleeding everywhere on my desk, because there's just like these Q-tips of red. Kind of horrific. So that maybe it's too much? I don't know. It's maybe you need to bring something down a little bit. We're just spitballing here as to different ideas. And props for the mixing paints and stuff. That's something I just don't really do. And it's more because I know I'll forget what the mix was. Like I see people doing blending and paints and stuff, and it's just, they do some really amazing stuff. Not my jam. There's lots of experimenting you could do too. Happy street time. All right. Black. Where's the switch sides of model every armor? Could be anything. Could be. Now using like black, like Abaddon black, or like a grayish, like a basilicum. Because yeah, straight black is very rarely. Things are straight black. Like I'll use like. I use varying shades of gray minus the bondage. But if you're doing Emperor's Children, maybe the bondage works. Fair. Shade up lightly to a glacier blue. I think I've got that. To be honest, I'm not sure. We'll have to. What is it you feel it's missing? Is it missing that pop? You should. I mean, 'cause it sounds like you're using some contrasting colors, and you're shading it up so you're not just having straight black. So maybe you're being a little critical of yourself. They sound awesome. Like, honestly, the colors and the blends and this, everything you're talking about, I'm digging it. Using vibrancy and the pop that a lot of my other 40K painter friends have. Fair enough. Okay. So here, okay, another possible thought. And I would never say I'm an expert, but what's the last thing you're doing? Like, are you shading them with Nuln Oil at the end? I don't think you are, but it's always a possibility. You've never used Nuln Oil. Well, you should have a shot of Nuln Oil just to get it past yourself. All it is it's a really thinned out black. It really gets into the cracks. It brings down bright colors and stuff. It gets into the nooks and crannies. Are you doing any kind of edge highlighting? Also, Nuln Oil will stain everything you have ever. You'll find Nuln Oil in places you never thought you would. Urologists will find Nuln Oil. Itchy face. Because edge highlighting can make it pop. It is a challenge. It is not easy. It's part of the reason the heavy metal paint style is not exactly the greatest for newer people. But from what you're explaining to me, your stuff isn't new. You are not new and or rookie-ish in any way. You're doing far more color depth and things. I would almost think maybe just a bit of a more solid color, like highlight in certain spots. Midnight. So yeah, you ain't new in the slightest. You are a regular. You were an old hat, as it were. Yeah, I'm not. So that's where. So I'm. So I think of like you get a little bit more vibrancy that you feel you're missing. Here's I'll tell you something, Doggo Lord. I've been playing since second, and I wouldn't consider myself very good at the game. I enjoy the crafting. I'm mediocre at the game at best. I'm going to be pushing hard on 11th with these Chaos Knights, though. I know, and I picked like the least winning army there is. But hey, ain't the first time, won't be the last. The only GW game I would ever say I was really good at or decent at was Battlefield Gothic. And if they ever bring that back, fuck my wallet. But so far they've made no inkling that they're bringing that back, which fuck them. I don't want that game to come back. But anyway, here's the next question. As we're working through this, we're working on ways to hopefully help, or maybe give you an idea, or you could be like, "Fuck, that's what I needed to do." Maybe we'll like spark that piece of inspiration. What's the bases like on your stuff? Because that's another aspect of the model that maybe your paint is fine. Because honestly, from what you're explaining, it sounds like that'll be pretty damn awesome. And I'm wondering if maybe there's something else that's distracting that you see on other models that like, that's what makes it pop. And that's what's not on yours at the moment. I know a lot of people. Just use a basic Slaanesh terrain paste. Maybe that could be it. You don't have to go batshit like I did with these bases. These bases I challenged myself specifically to make the bases insane on these Chaos Knights. But like a great example of just a more standard base, a Dark Angels. Real basic. Nothing crazy on there. Just, just a little bit of some grass, and I was doing kind of a swampy theme for it. Or my Tyranids. This is the most basic base. But the more standard, that might be... Maybe that's what's going to elevate it, as it were. You don't have to go crazy with the bases, but doing something a bit more unique might. Oh, for the terrain cork, don't buy specific terrain cork. That shit's expensive. Go to like a hobby store. I have a roll. It's kind of buried at the moment. I have a roll of cork. And I just cut it up and glue it. You save yourself a ton of money. Like any crafting, like you can get it in sheets. I got it in a roll. You can get it in whatever. And you could build it up. Like I've built it up into rocks and stuff. When you're doing cork, though, a quick tip from someone who's done a lot of bases with cork. After you do it's better when it's in shade. After you do the cork here for the rocks, completely cover it in like Elmer's glue before you primer it. Before you do anything else, after it's glued to the base or what you want done with it, cover it up in Elmer's glue. It helps it seal it so it doesn't absorb everything else. Just a little thing I learned after some of my war dogs, that the cork soaked up all the resin, like literally. It's weird. But maybe that's it. Like I use I take a lot of the, like this stuff, the AK War Games terrain. This is what I'll be using to do the rocks on top of these. And then I'll just hit it with a dry brush of like a white on top of that. Maybe that's the thing that's missing. If your bases are a little bit more basic, but that might make them pop more. You'd have to compare it to your friends' minis and like, are their bases like really done up fancy? Maybe that's the pop you're missing. You feel you're missing. So we don't know if it is actually missing. It's just kind of a vibe. They don't even base their models. Good gravy. Well, you don't have to, but maybe that's it then. Maybe the contrast of just the black base compared to the model makes their model seem more popish. Because it is all a matter of perspective. Ain't nothing wrong without basing the models. I just, for these guys, I specifically went batshit because I wanted to challenge myself. I've never done models this involved. So I wanted to do models crazy involved. I think that's all the trim. So, but maybe that might be why their models seem like they're popping more. If there's nothing on the base, then you're comparing bright colors to a black base. Whereas your stuff is all done, so it seems duller in comparison just because you've got color on there. I'm just shooting in the dark. All right, so back onto this bitch. That looks like that's dry. All right. So anyway, so here's an example of, this is just Leadbelcher paint, Leadbelcher primer, sorry, with the Basilicum Gray, which is a almost black contrast. Well, what you could do is go there. If you're up for it, if you want to join the Discord, it's a small Discord. It's mainly just my wife and I stuff. Absolutely, join up. As soon as you join, either after the stream or during stream, depending if my wife is busy or not, she might be able to give you the role so you can post. There's a channel called the TPS stream or Warhammer chat. Pop whatever you want in there. And there's also some really skilled painters like Cyandris and a few other folks in there that might be able to be like, hey, do this. Hey, do that. And there's some other folks in there that are pretty fucking good. And they might be able to give you some hit tips and tricks. And wife's got you covered. So, and we could all like spitball ideas. And maybe someone there, one of us will have like give you that inspiration moment of, this is what I need to do. What I was trying to show is that all this sword here is the Basilicum Gray contrast over Leadbelcher. So now I'm going to hit it with a very light dry brush of, and this side specifically Runefang Steel, and then for the weapon here, the Bad Touch Lance is going to be done in Grey Knight Steel, because I want the different tints of the metal. So you sit there while I get stuff ready. No, I need this first. Ooh, that's colorful. Runefang Steel. I gotta scrub my hands down anyway because I'm covered in paint. But yeah. There you go, Dogger Lord. So yeah, the channel says TPS stream, aka Warhammer chat. Put all your pictures you want in there, and we will gladly see if we can figure it out. I'm willing to wager stuff's going to come across and be like, "Fuck, that's good looking." Because the fact that you're blending colors and things like that sounds awesome. Just do a little bit of dry brushy. Not too heavy, not too crazy, because then I'm going to contrast over this. Just using this to help bring out some of the details on these bits. And then I'll contrast in the different colors like I do the boxes in the back with a reddish contrast. Usually flushed hairs, it's a good red. Things like that. No. Take all your time, Doggerlord. Don't stress. So it's a small Discord, but there's a lot of good folks in there. And here's the problem with big models like this is it gets just tiring in your hand. Like, dude, it's a pain to hold. I did express to my wife that I would be complaining the entire time. The problem is he's like so long that if I have him close to the tail, I'm going to be smacking shit around. Okay, switch to the smaller brush. First clean this. I just bought a brand new soap. Well, it's just poke me in the face. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, honestly. I would have fully expected to smack myself in the face or something with this guy. But I haven't somehow. Smaller dry brush. Oh, goodness. Double digits. I'm going to do a little bit on this too. I'll hit that with another shade. Okay. It's all good, Jersey. Ain't no stressing. Yep, I see posts. Give me a second. I'm just going to clean up the dry brushing. Alright, hoping to get some evaluation done in your painting for my evaluation needs. What's missing to make one step better is my Lord Exultant. Paint to my back. Alright. Lula. Lula, 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 Lula. You can see how, oh my goodness. At least raise your head off the pillow. She's laying down. Won't even lift her head. Decent blending on the capes there, I'll give you that. Absolutely.
What? What'd you say?
No, the dog. She wasn't even lifting her head.
You are so lazy.
She is very lazy. Yeah. All right, so Dog Lord took a good look. Best thing I can say is a way for evaluation. I think you need to thin the paints out a little bit. They're lazy doggos. That would be my recommendation. Use like the contrasts or speed paints or something like that. You've got the basics down great. And I do like the colors. I do like them a lot, actually. I think they're great for Emperor's Children. You've got a lot on here. There is... So it's got the black and the gold and stuff, but there is... I can see where you think it's a little flat. And I think it's simply that there's no gradient going between it. Yeah, the fabrics are great looking. You've got a good job, good handle on that. In like especially on the newer one, I could see the evolution. But it's where the paint looks a little chunky. And that could be just that the paint needs to be thinned a bit. Using either like a lamy medium or more of a contrast on it. Or something along those lines. Or even just a little bit of water. Maybe to thin it out a little bit and make it a little smoother. As far as like popping on that second one with the new paint scheme, I don't honestly. You've got working the edge. I think just cleaning it up, thin out the paints a little bit so it flows a little easier. It's a little easier to get off the brush. Make sure your brushes are cared for. I've seen that a bunch where some people have, they struggle because they're kind of held back a little bit by the brushes. You don't have to use fancy brushes. In the slice, it's what gets you painting is the best. I happen to like the Vallejo's Pro Modeler series. It's covered in paint. but I always clean them up with this brush cleaner stuffs, and I store them upright so that there's, I make sure that they're very clean and there's not, like, this one's got a little bit of red on there. I got to get off before I put it away for the night. But realistically, I think just cleaning up the edges might make it pop more. And then on your gold trim, so that looks like maybe a Retributor. No, that's not bright enough. I'm not sure what color that is. Maybe Skull Crusher? It looked kind of like Skull Crusher. But the Retributor. Okay. So, okay, then there you go. So, okay, that's how I've been in this too long, when I could tell the color by looking at it. I'm like, oh, Retributor. And then I doubted myself. So I would say for your gold, so you've got Retributor with a little bit of a sepia wash. After you do that sepia wash, because that sepia wash is going to bring it down, it's going to take the bit of the shine out of it. Take a tiny bit of like a Skull Crusher brass. Maybe this isn't even bright enough. I don't like the Auric Gold. But you could take a little bit of the Retributor on it. But Gehenna's might do it. Or Hashut Copper. I'm just looking at the colors I got over here. I might not have the right color. But if you're to take another brighter metal with a very, very light dry brush on top of that trim. So after you do the wash, after you do that sepia wash to bring it down and get in the edges and get in the nooks and crannies, then take a very slight dry brush on top of it. Here's an example. So this was hit with, I hit this down with the, it was Leadbelcher to start. I used Basilicum Gray contrast in there, and then I just did a light dry brush of a very bright silver, or like a runic steel, Runefang steel. That could be it too. Maybe a very light silver, very light dry brush on there, just to get those tiny edges back up, because you've brought it down with the sepia, and then that'll get in all the nooks and crannies. And then if you do just the very lightest of dry brushes on top, could bring it right back up, and even a little bit will make it pop a bit, pop more. And that would be the only thing I can think of, really. It's just, just a little clean it up. I said the paint looks a little thick, and that just might be sometimes the older paints get a little thicker. A little bit of, if you next time you're at the hobby store, pick up some this Lamy medium stuff, and you can just dribble that into the paints, mix them up a little bit, thins it out a bunch. But in general, yeah, I said your blending on the fabrics looks really good, especially like the cloak. That cloak right there, that looks good. You've got the little highlights on it. You've got the edges coming up good. You've got darker in the crevices. It looks great. It's like, I almost think like up here, where on this backpack, that looks good, but I'd almost put like maybe a little bit of Nuln Oil or an Arjax Earth Shade. Just dip your brush in it, a fine brush, and then run the fine brush on the edges of this Slaaneshi logo. And just to kind of separate that out more. Something like that. It would help put in the crevices a little bit. Like a Nuln Oil is the black version. I use Arjax Earthshade a lot because it's a slight brown tint. Don't have to do that one though. Another great one is Ryken Flesh Shade. It's a little more red, but it's still kind of dark. You just take a tiny bit and just run it on the edge. Like on the edges of where the pieces are. Like I would run it on this edge right here. I hope this is making sense. Something to point with. Brush. But like you would dip it in the shade and then just take your brush and just kind of go right on the edges here. And all that does is that the shade's going to stick in there. It's not going to do much. Like you're going to look at it and be like, it's not doing much. Kind of trust the process one. Do it around that logo a little bit. It'll help separate the Slaaneshi logo from the rest of the backpack more. And that might give it more of that pop. There is a subtlety to the stuff that's on the smaller stuff is almost lost a little bit. You got to kind of be loud and poppy. I'm trying to think of where's a good example of it. He doesn't have it on it, really. I hope I'm making sense. Like, okay, here. We can see it real. We can see it well on this guy's. There's the Imperial Eagle in there. That's done with the Gehenna's Gold color. And just an Argex Earthshade in there. And I just took the brush, dipped it in the shade, and then just a little bit on there. Let it soak into the crevices. Then you take the brush that's a little dry, take it off the top, so that way you don't lose the top part. I hope that's making sense. I hope. And also with the shades and stuff and the inks, don't be afraid to give it like 2 coats, maybe. This stuff's really, really thin, so you might need to do a couple rounds. But yeah, I would say, and realistically, with what you got technique-wise, you've got the basics down great. I'd say maybe start going into like speed paints or contrasts. I think you will see, you'll be like, oh shit, I can do great with that. Two scoops. I hope I'm making sense of what I'm telling you. That doesn't sound like complete crap. Yeah, it's like they're 2 scoops. It's like this. See, I'm already smacking stuff. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Almond Joys have nut. Mounds don't. And unless you're allergic to nuts, Almond Joy is far superior. If you're allergic to nuts, then I feel sorry for you. So like this ink here on this helmet, I'm doing multiple coats because I feel I need it. So I would definitely want this green to shine through because I think it's a great color. How you doing, Eli? I'm trying to help Doggo Lord with, I'm hoping some reasonable painting tips. I'm not sure. There's a piece in there I gotta get to. I just realized that. There's a little bit of arm in there. Oh, I missed Del Taco. If you go to Del Taco, have a chicken soft taco for me, man. I don't know what they're at now price-wise. But I remember when they were like 69 cents or 30. No. 69 cents, I think is what it was. Chicken soft tacos. Probably pretty horrible for me, but they were so tasty. Let this that ink dry up a little bit. Somewhere around there, yeah. I remember being something like that. Alright, so we're going to go back and ink in. We're going to do a second coat of ink on some of these bits. So I think I want this color to be very rich. So I'm hoping that made sense to Dog Lord. It's definitely got the base. The core concepts and the base on this stuff looks good. Very like instantly identifiable as Emperor's Children. Dig the colors, dig the concepts. Stuff looks good. I'll put that other case together tomorrow, make it a dedicated night case. Yeah, see, now I gotta... Also, Dogalord, don't be afraid to go back and redo models. Ain't nothing wrong with cleaning them up, fix them up after the fact if you're not happy with them. I've dropped things and had to repaint. I keep my Necromunda dudes the way they were as the reminder for myself. Because like where is Necromunda boy? I bring him out on the regular. This is a model I painted back when at Dark Force Games. And he's been repainted at least twice, I would say. But I can see like a progress of, you know, there's the Grey Knights, where I was trying to do blending. Didn't do a great job at it, but still knew it. And now we're up to, you know, things like this dude here that I'm actually quite proud of. I think he looks awesome. My ancient. Then we got nutty professors of Kniggets. It's like I'm going to be touching, and that's another thing too. Like I go through and touch these things up tons. What I'm doing right now is just getting the bases, the base colors and bases ready. So I'll be working on the detail and doing tons and tons of touch-up work. I also have a lot of decals for this guy. I'm going to complain about that the entire time I'm doing that too. His decals are a bitch. They look so good, though, when you get them on, though. They're worth the effort. They're hard to get the hang of, but... Oh, no, I've 100% done this to myself, Jersey. I'm very much aware of it. I knew how much I was going to suffer... You know, when I was doing the chain on the shield. In fact, I went through an entire spool of hobby chain for that shit. It is not a Helldrake. This is true. It's not that level of trim. But I do have 6 bloodletters on this one. So that's going to be another hopefully I'll finish this guy in a week-ish. I don't know. We'll see. Honestly, I have no idea how long it's going to take me to get this one done. This is, out of an army of centerpieces, this is the centerpiece. So this is the one with all the extra crap. It's the only one that, like, they're all after watching, I was watching a bit more of the Miniature Masters. Eli, I was watching the new one, newest, and the one thing that I can't remember the guy's name, but he's the one with all the Golden Demons awards. He's the one they did the example of the True Metallic Metals paint on that little bust he did that was just fucking bonkers good. That's something that they keep saying is that they want all the stuff to tell a story. You know, you should try and tell a story with you never do it with the whole army, but like these, you know, because they're doing nothing but like top end centerpiece models basically. And this, out of my knights, I enjoy it. The Rampager has a bit of a story, like it kind of progressed. That one, you know, the big knight over there, the War Dogs, not as much, except Snackers. Snackers is telling a story that he's enjoying a Space Marine chew toy. But my Abominant, not as much. The Tyrant has got a story. He's coming out of the ice with the chains holding him back. The Rampager, absolutely, because it has the Wraith Knight's head in its hands and is stepping on the blade. This guy is the most extreme. It's literally, it's a good story of the Battle Sister. She is standing up to most assuredly a squishy death. Which props to her. But yeah, she gonna die. There's no amount of miracle dice of saving her ass. Especially because this guy hits on 2s, wounds on 2s, rerolls 1s, and does 8 damage with each wound. So he just has to land 1. And she is turned. There is no Battle Sister that has 8 wounds. So she getting turned to Pace Picante. If you like Pace Picante. New York City. And yes, that is one of the quotes from one of the best Pixar films there is. Which actually is the quote I use. That movie has a quote I use at work all the time. It's from Edna Mode. Fortune favors the prepared. I mean, No Capes is good too, but yeah. What do you think the baby's going to be doing? I don't know, darling, but fortune favors the prepared. So, say a Dogger Lord. I feel you've got the core down really well. I would say simply the biggest thing is maybe clean up the edges a little bit. Do a little bit of a shade to bring out some of the details a little bit more. And then on the stuff that you did the sepia wash to bring him down, put the tiniest of dry brush or highlight on to bring the very tips and edges up. And I'm all for doing crazy bases. Just if that weren't painfully evident at the moment. But your blending, your work on the capes, looks really good. So and not too far off for the night. Feel I'm making good progress. I'm getting the base colors, the base coats on. We decided on the trim. Shifted a little bit because I was going to use a different green, but I do like this green better. I think this green ink has a just nice rich tone to it. It's brightness. So, for a first pass, I think we're doing all right. Got the armor plates that I couldn't paint separately done on there. The dry brushes on. This I'm going to do. So for the spear, I need to do the dry brush in the Grey Knight Steel, not the Rune Fang Silver. Because Grey Knight Steel has that blue tone to it that I want to use. So let's see what we got. You all get a dry. You get to get put back. Let's pick up big boy. Big, beautiful boy. Oh, man. Now, do I want to do the trim? Oh, I did all the trim matching, didn't I? Ugh, trim. There's all this trim on these blades here I gotta do. There's all the trim on the edges of the axe, all this, like, stuff. I did it on Mr. Let me just pull his arm off. And did his trim on all that, so I'm going to be consistent and do the trim up. There we go. Yep. I'm going to hate myself. I'm going to complain, but it needs to get done. I'm not going to do it right now. Do a little bit more work on all the joints and things, all the joints and like little rivets and stuff on the legs. I always did on all these guys. All of it is in a like little. Come here, Mr. Rampager. I can see on all the. I did them all in that Skull Crusher brass and all these like joints, so I'll be doing that. Work on that a little bit. You get over there. So do I have more Skull Crusher brass? No, that's Retributor. Where are you? You're Hashut, which I'll be using a lot of that just coming up soon. Where are you? You're more Retributor. So I plan on using it a lot. What are you? You're black, because black's a core. What are you? Yes! I do have more. I think I've got a hoarding issue for paint. I've used so much of these names. Paints. Paints! How many markers? Oh, I didn't even think about the inks. You haven't bought markers since you got into the inks, really. Do you need to replace any of your markers? You did have the whole set. That was a fun day when you bought that. How many markers were in that set? I honestly don't remember. It was a lot. God damn, this guy's hard to hold. Hardest part is finding spots to hold. $200 markers. That's a lot of markers. That's a lot of nuts. That's a lot of nuts. Your shirt is blue. My name is Betty. I don't know why I've gone into Kung Pao, but I seem to have gone into Kung Pao. And we'll finish this up real quick. Alright, so you all get to witness the weirdness that is me putting this guy to bed. So, because of the way this guy is, and the fact that he's not really in the best of physical positions at the moment, I take my chapter proof deck. I should use the other one, which I don't know where it is. I think it's in the Armageddon box still. I take my chapter proof deck, and we put him to bed like that. That is where he is most stable. I know it doesn't look it, but he is actually the most stable in that position. And then it's not putting any weird pressure on any of the limbs, because I don't want them to get messed up. So, with that, you say good night, Mr. Nate. You go bed now. We're cleaning this brush real quick. Mr. Knigget's going to bed. Okay. So with that, thank you everybody for sitting and hanging and watching and chatting. I hope I gave you we came up with some ideas for you, Doggo Lord. I'm hoping we'll absolutely, there are some great painters in that Discord, like Sandris is, I'm going to keep saying it because he's really good. And he's been doing the sponge thing. He's really good at that. But yeah, we'll gladly do what we can to help you and get it where you're happy with them. Because that's the most important part, is you got to be happy with them. But other than that, I'll be on tomorrow, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central. Also be on Monday. And Jay is on, isn't he? I think we can raid Jay. I thought I saw the... Man, can you see if Jay's on? I thought I saw the notification. Can you... Let me see if he's on. Okay, he's live. So, all right. We're going to raid over to Jay, JT_DM. He's running, I think, one of his D&D games tonight. Great DM, incredibly creative person, creative group of people. And he likes crafting fun stuff. So we're going to head on over there. So thank you all, everybody. I will catch you on another night. As always, check out Orc and Squig. And thanks.